Greetings, and welcome back to the MCOC Encyclopedia. Today, we'll be continuing our journey into Act 7, covering all of the easiest paths. If multiple paths are an option in a quest, I will cover them all. Remember that these are just what I found easier, and your roster and experiences may vary. So let's dive in. Act 7, Chapter 2, Quest Number 1. Wake Up. It's been a while, but time to get back to some Act guides. The path we'll be taking today is through Teleporter 1A towards Black Bolt. Here we will find Juggling Act Cold Snap Incinerate, Energy Adoption Ice, Energy Adoption Fire, Blood in the Water 2, and Stun Vulnerability. The Energy Adoption nodes we have seen before. Contact with the opponent has a 50% chance to inflict you with the corresponding debuff. They are pretty tiny, and willpower will cover you fairly easily for 3 to 5 of them depending on your health pool, but they can stack up and they will slowly eat away at you. We can stop these debuffs being inflicted though, by inflicting the right debuffs ourselves on the defender. We can stop any incinerates coming our way by bleeding the opponent, and we can stop any cold snaps by armor breaking the opponent. Inflicting the corresponding node debuff, so Incinerate and Cold Snap here, will cause the defender to regenerate 1% of their maximum health per second. Things here are made a bit worse by Blood in the Water. Whenever you have any debuff on you at all, the defender will gain a 150% Fury until there are no debuffs left on you at all. Don't get hit, and this won't be an issue, but messing up can hurt. We do have a few things to help though. Juggling Act will give us Cold Snap immunity at the start of the fight. Charging a Heavy will switch it to Incinerate immunity, and finishing a special will change it back to Cold Snap. Just by using this node and going back and forth between these immunities, any champion can take this path, but we have some much better options to choose from that we'll look at in a bit. Finally, we have Stun Vulnerability, which means you will do 200% more damage whilst they're stunned. Good times. We have 4 different ways of going about this path. The first and worst way is the one I've just mentioned, using the Juggling Act node to keep removing the energy adoption debuffs. This is fine, and will allow you to use pretty much any one, but we can do much better. Option number 2 is to use champions that have either immunity, and to switch Juggling Act to the other one, effectively maintaining both immunities. Then the only nodes that matter is Stun Vulnerability, and that's pure advantage. There are far too many champions to list off here that have one of these immunities, so look to your own roster and see what works for you. Champions that can shut down either of the energy adoption nodes with bleeds or armor breaks can be considered immune for this quest only. For example, Nick Fury can inflict plenty of bleeds, so we don't have to worry about energy adoption fire, and we can use Juggling Act to cover the cold snaps. Option number 3 is simply someone with both immunities, though these are fairly limited. Strong Shruggers can be considered here. However, if you do have one of these available, then you can ignore every node except Stun Vulnerability. And that one again, pure advantage. But our best option is option number 4, and that is to use champions that benefit or take advantage from these debuffs, and we have some great options to work with. Firstly, our Cheese Queen, Ghost. Lots of debuffs mean lots of furies, and she can completely obliterate this path with relative ease. Kingpin is similar, stacking up a huge number of rage debuffs and overpower buffs for some truly awesome damage. Awakened Colossus can gain armors very quickly, Havoc will rapidly inflict his plasmas, Onslaught will gain extra neuroshocks, Surfer will gain extra red damage, Captain Marvel Movie will gain her charges super quickly, and so on. For defenders on this path, we only have 2 annoying ones to deal with, and they are Professor X and Strife. These 2 are classed as annoying as they both have access to miss mechanics, Professor X on a timer, and Strife on his special one, as well as having chance to miss when he has 5 of his charges. Watch out for these 2 and their misses, and you'll be fine. And if this video is helping you, please, don't miss that like button. Act 7.2 and all story onwards, at the time of making this video, have the same structure for bosses unless you have a special one, and that is to have 3 options, but you can choose which boss you take each time. For quests that have 6 paths, this means you can take one boss 4 times and the other 2 only once each if you find one of them particularly easy. The boss we'll be taking in this quest is Moleman. He has Fight or Flight, bleed vulnerability, foresight, immunity incinerate, and no hit mercy. Fight or flight means that every 12 seconds, Moleman will go unstoppable for 4 seconds. However, if you are far away from him when this triggers, you will gain that unstoppable instead. Bleed vulnerability and foresight we have seen before. Bleed the opponent for gain a big damage boost, and intercept them also for a big damage boost. Immunity incinerate does exactly what you think it would do. Moleman is incinerate immune. But no hit mercy means that whenever you knock Moleman down, he will gain a very large cruelty buff, increasing his crit damage, and also allowing him to crit through block. The best 2 counters for this guy are Archangel and Apocalypse. Moleman has built-in shrug-off mechanics, but these 2 counters both have access to bleeds and can bypass shrugging. Apocalypse does it constantly, and Archangel reduces his opponent's ability accuracy for shrugging by 25% for each bleed on them. Once a few of those bleeds stick, this fight is basically over. Any champion can do this fight, though bleeders will make it go much faster. Once Moleman gets to 20 charges, which he gets from his special 1 and from shrugging debuffs, he will go into his frenzy mode, meaning he can't shrug anymore until he runs out. Though he can always crit in this mode, and combined with no hit mercy, this will sting a little bit. We can use a White Magneto pre-fight here for the unshruggable passive parry stuns, as long as you are using a metal or hero champion. If you don't have any counters for this guy, you can take mags instead. Just watch out for spite and only throw special attacks when you have at least 10 of the flame charges. The prowess he gains above 2 bars of power are pretty big, so if he has a few of these, don't even block his specials, or your health bar will not thank you. So, now for our team. Well, this is pretty much entirely going to revolve around whether you have a Ghost, and if you are happy using her. If you are, then a team of Ghost, Wasp for the synergy, Kingpin, Archangel, and Apocalypse will shred through this quest without issues. Use Kingpin for Professor X and Strife if you don't want to ghost them, as they are trickier ghosts. Class disadvantage doesn't mean much here anyway, and by the time we get to the end, we can swap in Mr. Sinister or Cable, so Apocalypse will be max ramped straight away for the Moleman fight. If you don't have or don't want to use Ghost, then the base of the team stays the same. Kingpin, Archangel, and Apocalypse can now be supported by Nick Fury and Colossus. Another mutant on the team will help Apocalypse via his personal synergy for more damage, and again, we can swap in Mr. Sinister or Cable to max ramp Apocalypse straight away. Fairly soon after this video goes out, I will try and get up a short commentated video of me going through this path with the exact team I suggest above. I will probably be using the non-Ghost team because she is far too cheesy. It'll be much more relaxed, but should hopefully give some more insight into how I look at getting around these issues. I will also answer any popular questions from the comments of this video and that video, so please leave yours down below. As always, remember that this is story content, so it won't be going anywhere anytime soon. If you get stuck here and find yourself spending lots of resources, stop and focus on something else. The monthly event quest and side quests are great places to pick up more materials, shards, and units, as are battlegrounds and the arena. So, that's it. Everything you need to know to clear all of 7.2.1. I have a whole list of things in the works, but for the moment we'll be focusing on Act 7 and a few champion showcases because I like making them. Let me know if there's anything else you would like to see down below as well. I also have a Discord server, so please go and join that. A great place to get specific advice, make suggestions for future video topics, and as long as I'm awake, I'm there as much as possible. If you have any questions, please do leave them down below, and please do all the YouTube stuff. Thank you, and I will see you next time.